Hey everybody! Thanks again for joining me on another one of these quarantine vlogs. I haven't done one in a while. I know I've been doing other things, been busy with things, and I've been ordering some new tech toys, I call them. So as you can see, I've improved my lighting a little bit. I have a ring light now, and I have somewhat of a backdrop. But today is Friday, May 15. We're still under quarantine, of course. Things are starting to look up a little bit. Now, I won't really talk too much about the latest stats of COVID-19 here on this vlog. This vlog is just meant for a way to check up on France, see how they're doing, see what they're doing during this pandemic. But if you do want to check out the latest information, I suggest you go to these two websites you see on your screen there, cdc.gov or who.int. That's the World Health Organization. They have tons of free resources. It's amazing what the cdc.gov website has. I like to go to it because it does actually have a map that breaks down states and counties, and you can just really see the data coming out from the certain areas around the country. So you can do that. Of course, you can always follow your local media and health officials. Today, well, first of all, like the press conferences and the news conferences, they're kind of winding down a little bit. For example, Mayor Eric Garcetti out of Los Angeles is now doing press briefings every so often. So if you follow all these local leaders, you'll be in the know of when these press conferences are going to happen. So anyway, enough small chat for now. I actually want to welcome my guest today. I'm excited to talk to her. She is a student at Fresno State University, and I think she has quite a story to tell. She just had finals, so we'll talk a little bit about that. Her name, Mayra Franco. Hi, Mayra. How are you?
Good, thanks. Thanks for having me here. I'm excited to be here.
Of course. And you know what I'll do is actually I'll do this right here. Now we're up split screen. So
Perfect.
so how were your finals?
Oh, they were a breeze. I thought they were
Yeah.
going to be a little harder. To be truthfully, on one I didn't really study. This quarantine got a little bit to me, but
Oh.
we still were able, to get a good grade. So I'm happy about that. It was a breeze.
So how did you like? What was that process like? How were you able to prepare to do these finals?
I'm always been really like a mental health advocate because I've always dealt with it in my life. So I've always tried to stay really active, and this quarantine has really helped me. So I think getting fit and working out every morning really boosted my energy to study. And I think my professors too, Kim Stevens and Faith Sidlow, were really motivating and always there for us. So they helped us actually put a reel together, which was our final project. So a lot of the graduates who are graduating had that professional work despite not being on, the virtual, actually are set on campus. So I think that was a great opportunity. They were there for us even when that whole week, when the whole quarantine was happening, stay at home, our class still was able to attend the meetings because we were a hands-on. We couldn't really do stuff online. That week, we weren't supposed to go to classes, and they were still there for us. And we still went to class and tried to get, our live newscast on air. But sadly, the next week that happened. But going back into finals, I think, those professors and everybody really motivating us to stay, mentally put and to get our work done despite everything. And now we actually have more time to actually do it. But I feel like the whole quarantine, we go into that quarantine mode of stop, like, and be lazy. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's just this mode. I don't know if you understand me. Like, you don't want to do anything.
Oh yeah. No, I completely understand you. I mean, I haven't even gotten out of the house for a while. I actually just went out. When was it? 2 days ago. Because, well, first of all, I had to run my car. My car hadn't run for a while. And so when I tried starting it, it just wouldn't start. I mean, eventually it did, but I don't want that to happen again. So I'm gonna make it a point to just regularly go out and drive around for a little bit. But I ended up actually going out to Burbank for a little breakfast at Porto's. So it was interesting too how that was done because it's only pickup. You can't do. I mean, it's curbside pickup. So you have to order from their website first, and then they give you a time window when you to show up. So you show up, and they kind of direct you to park into a stall, and then they bring out your food, and yeah, and like that's it. They usually. I requested they put it in the trunk, so I just popped up in the trunk because you can't get out of your car. You have to stay in your car, and you have to wear a mask at all times. So so that was a fun adventure. But he got me out of the house for a little bit. It just coming back to your point, there's those times when you just don't want to do anything, but you got to stay motivated. So how did you in particular stay motivated throughout all this to deal with work and to deal with family and to deal with everything else that comes with life and this time when we have to stay home?
Yeah, like I said before, I think fitness really I've been going to the gym since I got out of high school. And it's funny because I remember in high school we used to say, "Oh, we didn't even want to run that mile," and now we're like, we're never going to do PE again. But now that we're out of
Yeah.
high school, we're always working out. It's like the new thing, the new trending, which is a good thing that fitness is trending. But that's just one thing. And just honestly staying connected with friends and family and messaging on the daily basis just to check up on each other. I feel like that really helps.
Excellent point. Yes. Now I know a lot of people have been doing these Zoom parties. I actually did. Have you heard of Netflix, a Netflix party or Netflix watch party?
I have.
Have you
I've
done one of
seen it.
those yet?
I haven't yet.
It's
Have
really,
you?
yeah. It's really interesting. So it's right now it's only limited to Google Chrome and a desktop or laptop computer. You can't do it on an Apple TV, for example. You can't do it on an iPhone or anything like that. But you go to this website called netflixparty.com, and you have to install this Chrome browser plugin called Netflix Party. So then you go into your Netflix account, you pick whatever movie you want to see or show or whatever, and then you start playing it, and then this plugin lights up. And so what he does, he kind of creates a chat room that connects everybody. So it gives you like a link that you send to your friends that you want to invite, and then they somehow it's this chat room that connects everybody, and all of a sudden people can start watching the same movie at the same time. But those people also have to have a Netflix account. So that's the only thing that I found out. I thought that only the host needed to have a Netflix account, and then you invited people, and it was almost like screen sharing. But
So they can't use the same login.
yeah, exactly. I mean, you can, yeah, you have to have your access to a Netflix account on your end, and then once everybody clicks this link, it basically just routes them to that movie within their Netflix account, and then you can start watching it. And then while you're watching the movie, since it's like a little chat room thing, you see you can comment on the movie and stuff, or you can talk to friends while watching the movie. You can't do video chat or anything, but you can just type. So it's kind of fun. We're probably gonna do it again. But that's a good way, I think, to get a bunch of friends to join in. But how have you been staying in contact with friends?
Well, sometimes I've gone on hikes. When it first all started, I think we went on our last hike together. But literally, normally FaceTime, we literally FaceTime every morning when we wake up or in the middle of the day. I get probably like 5 calls a day. But I'm starting to get really in this mode where I don't respond to messages. And I'm like, I need to stop because before quarantine, I would respond within seconds. But now I'm trying to not be on my phone as much because I feel like that affects me a lot. And I want to decrease my screen hours,
Hmm.
but normally just FaceTiming a lot, or we'll go on a run, but we won't go in the same car together. And there's like a trail, so there's a little bit of distance there. But other than that, that's the only thing we kind of get in contact with, which I miss them. I do.
Interesting. What's been like the quirkiest thing you've done since the quarantine started?
The quirkiest thing, that's a hard one.
Okay, I'll give you an
Well, I've gone,
example. Uh, yeah, because
I will,
I've been seeing a lot of videos out there of people just kind of driving to somebody's house whose birthday it is or some special event, and they just honk and stuff. So anything like that you've done?
yes. So it's funny. All my friends' birthdays are literally in May, just like mine. So it's like back to back. We're all going to our houses, honking and beeping and putting on las mañanitas in Spanish is the happy birthday song, and blasting. And I think it's just a really good to celebrate their birthday and make them feel good. They actually just came to my house too on May 6th to celebrate mine. So it's quite nice.
I know. I think I saw a short clip of that on your Instagram.
Yeah.
Which what is where can people actually find you on social media and on Instagram?
Also, yeah. So they can find me on Instagram. It's underscore Mayra Franco. Um, yeah, that's my Instagram. Twitter, I think I recently changed it. I don't remember the name. I think I probably changed it back. It's underscore Mayra Franco 100. And I also have a YouTube channel, which is linked into my social media accounts too.
Yeah, that's awesome. Have you been actually been more productive during this time creating social content than you've had before?
Yeah, I want to say yes because I have more time on my hands. So for YouTube, I've been trying to stay on that weekly, but I don't know, sometimes I don't do it for some reason. But now since finals are finished and school is done, I feel like I was excited. I was like, I can't wait for school to be done so I can finally do some videos, finally get some interviews in, or, take a drive around town and see what's going on. I've been really wanting to do this quarantine video of how people are dealing with it, especially those who struggle with mental illness or mental health in general, but that's just one of my goals right now that I want to do.
Mm, that's a good goal. And do you are you, so you're a journalism student at Fresno State University?
Yes.
Okay, so um, earlier you mentioned that you guys have a live show or a live newscast. So can you talk to me a little bit about that and what that's all about? I kind of just want to know a little bit more about the Fresno State University program that you're in. Because
Yeah.
yeah, we first met over at Camp News about a year ago. Well, like half a year ago, I guess. But we met at Camp News, which is this camp for aspiring journalists. And I mean, right away, I could tell you were such a gifted student, and you're gonna go places. But yeah, so back to Fresno State University and their program and what you do. I mean, talk to me a little bit about that and about this live show that you're doing.
Yeah, thank you so much again for that comment. Camp News was a great experience, and that's when I first started my journalism career. But Fresno State Focus, I love that program, and I think I might take it next semester. Normally, students only take it one before they graduate, but I'm so excited. So it's pretty much a live newscast. We have the studio, the weather, the anchor desk, and kind of like, I guess you can say, sports and entertainment section. And every Wednesday we put on a show, live newscast, 4 to 4:30. So everybody gets the chance to anchor, report, weather, work behind the scenes like camera. There's also a crew part of that too. So that's a different section. That's more of the camera work behind. We get to produce. So it's a lot of hands-on experience, everything. And it's a weekly, you have to get your stories in weekly. So it's literally like a real job, but on a weekly basis. So I think it's a really great experience for anybody who really wants to get into the journalism work and get that hands-on experience. For me, I was excited. I wanted to do it like once I found out I was a broadcast journalism major, but I didn't have all my courses ready. So I was like waiting like semester after semester, like I can't wait. And then the day comes where coronavirus happens and it kind of shuts off in between, but we still didn't give up. We were still deciding how we were going to do it when it all happened, but we were able to do it virtually and do a whole virtual newscast despite all the challenges, and we still were able to get those stories in by FaceTime, interviewing people, wherever we could. So overall, I love that program, and I can't wait one day to become a mentor to the younger generations or future generations ahead of me, because that program gave me so much, and so much knowledge and confidence, and the professors have always been such a huge help to us.
That's awesome. Resiliency is such a powerful thing, and I'm glad that you guys kept going after this pandemic
Mhm.
struck. You're like on the same boat as many of the other news stations around this country, where you still have to report the news, but how do you do it safely? So, like for me, for example, I've been working from home since like mid March. So now it's May 15, and I don't know when I'm gonna actually physically go back to the station or any other building for work. So I'm trying to prepare as best as I can out here. So I needed to like upgrade my internet, upgrade a couple things on my computer, get some new monitors. I mean, there's some cool stuff, and invest in that, which I had a lot of fun doing. So that kind of kept me busy. But how has been I know you mentioned that you do some Zoom interviews, but what else? Like, what's the process like for you to from beginning to end to get a story and then send it in to this live newscast you guys are still doing? What's your process like?
So, kind of my process, what I do, I normally just look on my feed and see
Hmm.
what's going on. And then I actually seen this one story that I really, really loved, and I think it's on a Facebook group like of journalism. And I seen the idea of like how many people touch their face without knowing it, and that's one of the stories I love best. I would have never thought of the idea. I thought it was just a great story. But the pretty much the process is I just go through my feed and see what's going on, or I drive around town and I see like what's out of the ordinary that we used to do, and now we don't. Like for me, example, I still go to Redbox and I think, wow, like back then I would just take out the disc and I wouldn't matter about germs or anything, but now it's like I go in there and I wipe it down or sanitize it. Like we're sanitizing everything. So I kind of think what's out of the ordinary that people can relate to during this time. So I think that's just my whole thinking critical process and writing it down and ideas. And sometimes before bed, just thinking and just write it down because, sometimes you forget it the next morning. But then I do, I interview, like contact the person, and then we kind of set up a date. I kind of research a little other things going on that might relate to that, and then just boom, interview, and then put the whole package story together. But that's about it.
Wow. That's quite the process, but really
Yeah.
good, really good. I think you're ahead on the curve from some other folks that I know. I mean, the key thing is you have to stay organized and just kind of think outside the box a little bit and have great time management. I'm glad you said that because everybody watching this, especially other students, I think could benefit from what you just said, especially other aspiring journalists. Like I said, Camp News is like put out every year by Fox 11's reporter Hal Eisner, and I mean he's awesome. But that's a hands-on training course. I feel like you really can't learn something well unless you actually get hands-on. So I'm glad that you're getting that experience of hands-on. I mean, wouldn't you agree?
Yes, thank you. The only downside was I was planning to do my first internship like these upcoming like the summer and the next semester, and now because everything going on, it's hard. It's a hard time right now. It's quite sad, but I really really want to get that internship. So if anybody knows, I'm welcome to move anywhere. I want to go do an internship somewhere, not a job, an internship.
Yeah.
For now, I really want that hands-on experience.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and the good thing is that you are learning on how to do everything because that just
Yeah,
opens up the door even more. It's not just simply being on air, but if
yeah.
needed to, you could do like behind the scenes stuff, whether it's
Mhm.
producing or writing or editing. You can do so much. So yeah, I'm glad that you're getting to learn all those skills. That's very very important. Um, and let's talk a little bit about family because you're under quarantine with your family. So how do you do it so that you don't go crazy dealing with everything that's going on while still trying to concentrate on your schoolwork and how do you divide your house so that you have your own like little space that you can just concentrate in and deal with family at the same time?
That makes me laugh. Good question. Sometimes I just want to move out already so many times. But I love them. I honestly, they know. I feel like I tell them, okay, at this time I'm doing an interview, so please, like, no sound, because in a Mexican household, there's music in the mornings,
Oh yeah.
and there's just, yeah, a lot of music, or la bailada, or when they're brooming or yelling, or, so I always tell them, okay, I'm gonna do this, so can please, I need a little silence for this time, or I'll just shut myself in the room, or sometimes I go in my car and I just sit there and get my work done. So it all just depends. But family time, we always have this downtime where past 7 o'clock, we all hang out in the living room. So that's just kind of my rule at my house. And by 10 o'clock, it's bedtime. Like, that's always been a strict Mexican rule in my house. I don't know if it's like that anywhere else. But we always have a movie night almost now every day, which is nice because I feel like we get together and kind of, back then I was so busy with schoolwork, and I was never really home. I was always active, out and about. I was never home. And now I feel like I actually get the opportunity before, if I move out, since I am graduating next semester, to spend that quality time with them. So there's, I guess, as you can say, advantages and disadvantages to, the stay at home older.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I haven't seen. Obviously, I like live with my wife, but I haven't seen my parents. And it used to be a trip every other couple weekends or so, but now I haven't seen them since this whole thing started. So that's, I don't know, maybe like 3 months now. So I try to still call and do all that stuff, especially for Mother's Day, since we couldn't really get close or anything. But did you do anything special for Mother's Day?
We just, what did we do? I'm not trying to think. It was a few days ago, but I can't remember now. But yeah, I just brought cakes, but we kind of surprised her, and just celebrate Mother's Day, just like a relaxing, she treats it like any other day, but we always try to do it kind of big for her. But we just relaxed and, had a good time. I think my dad did a carnita asada, but that was about it.
Yeah, I probably have to go get more propane because I love grilling, and
Oh,
I've been grilling for the last like 3 months straight, almost every week, until the propane ran out. So I have to go get
yeah.
some more. But man, carnitas, when you say that that just
Oh,
got me hungry.
yeah. No dieting.
Exactly. Wow. Okay. And you say you're graduating next semester. What do you want to do like after you graduate? What's in your plans?
I don't know. I feel like I know and I don't. I would love to stay home because I've always been like a homebody person, being with my family, and just I feel like the Central Valley is my home. But I would love to go outside of the normal and explore other places. But I would love, you know, to experience everything in the newsroom and get to know the like working behind the scenes, producing, reporting, everything that I can get my hands on. I think I've always been very open. So anything that finds my way and I can learn and grow, I think that would be just great.
That's awesome. What do your parents think about that? Are they dreading the day that you graduate and possibly leave home?
Yeah, my mom says it funnily, casually, like, oh, yeah, que te vayas de la casa in Spanish, meaning like, oh, just leave already. But I know deep down, like, she's sad for the day to come. Like, I've told her I might have to relocate somewhere. And she's like, she doesn't believe it still. Like, I'm the only girl out of three boys and the youngest. So I think it might hit her a little hard.
Oh man, well that's definitely how parents are, especially in a Mexican household. I know mine. My mom still definitely gives me a little bit of a hard time whenever I go visit and then we leave. The waterworks start, so it's like, oh man. But yeah, you kind of just have to follow your future and hopefully, I mean. Even though they may give you a little hard time, they almost all the time they support you on your
Yeah.
decisions. Plus, I think you're definitely going the right path. I mean, is journalism like the career that you really want to be doing? And what about it has you so passionate about?
I loved journalism since the first time I laid my eyes, knowing we had like a newscast at Fresno State. I didn't even know. It's funny because you're from LA, right? Or live in LA,
Yeah.
right? And I when I seen broadcast journalism and all the pictures, because I remember my friend told me she was an MCJ major, and I never heard of that before. I never even knew we had a news station, like a live newscast at Fresno State that's run by students. So I looked it up, and I was like, this is me. Like, I've always wanted to be a communications major, but I wasn't sure of it. So when I seen it, it was like a mind, like I, without a doubt, I was like, okay, I'm refusing my other career now. I'm going to a new one. Um, I love the whole storytelling. I love interacting. I love being in my community, informing people of what's going on. I just have a passion for it. Like, I remember before I started my classes, I would always like see things that were going on in my city, and I would go report them already and post it on social media. It's just something that in nature would just come out to me. I just wanted to be telling people what was going on, and people started to kind of engage with me and tell me like, thank you for the heads up of letting me know this was happening, or thank you for being motivational, just things like that. I really want to impact my community, and especially since Madera, there wasn't, I just wanted people to get more involved in news, because I feel like there's not a lot, and I didn't see a lot of Madera news. So that's why I started, every time there was something, I would always be putting it out there, pushing it, pushing it, pushing it. So I think that's kind of where I gained my whole love for journalism, is just being out there and talking to people. And I used to be like an extroverted. I feel like I became more introverted in college because, you know, you kind of get focused in your zone. Like,
Yeah.
you don't talk to anybody your first years. But now I feel like I love it. I love talking to people. I can't shut up, as you can tell.
It's so funny you mention that because believe it or not, I used to be like super shy. I mean, I'm still kind of a little bit I'm still shy in some ways, and I am an introvert. That's why I'm loving working from home and doing all this stuff. But my wife, who's an extrovert, is having a more difficult time. So we kind of just have to find a balance there. But yeah, like I remember there was like this incident, I guess, back when I was going into my teens, where I was so shy. I remember going to like a diner, and I saw like this woman that I thought was attractive, and so I just got paralyzed and I shut down. I couldn't eat, so we ended up leaving that. But then once I got into news, I was actually forced. I mean, working in a small market really forces you to do a lot. So for me, I was a news photographer. That's how I started my career in news. And so a lot of the times I had to go to breaking news by myself, no reporters or anything, and I had to do the interviews. So for that, my job basically, I always would tell myself my job depended on me actually talking to people. So eventually, at first it was hard. But then eventually just kind of loosened me up, and now I can talk to anybody, knowing them or not, about anything. And I mean, it's a useful skill that I learned just by doing news. Have you been learning any new skills during this pandemic that you're gonna be using later in life?
You know, something really funny that I've never ever used before, because I'm not tech savvy. I know how to use an HDMI cable. And how I found that out was because I wanted to watch movies and connect it to my TV. So that's a useful skill, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't even know. That's probably a little embarrassing. But I finally used an HDMI cable. But one thing that I want to say I've used. Oh, I definitely new skills on Premiere Pro, because I wasn't as like tech savvy. Like I said, I've never been really tech savvy. But I started like kind of looking up on YouTube how to like new editing things, like dropping the volume, like audio gain. I didn't know that really, and that's kind of like the basics you should know. Um, so some things like that, and I think our professors really helped us with that too, because there was instructions there. That's one thing that I really learned from, more technical stuff.
Mm. That's good. That's gonna really help you out. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you know a good nonlinear editing program well, then anything that comes your way that's nonlinear, you'll pick up immediately. I remember when I started in news, the station I was at was still on doing tape to tape editing, so we call that linear editing. So you couldn't really mess up. You really had to be good at editing. So that's actually how I got really good at editing. And I kind of miss those days where you shot on like a tape, and then you stuck it in the one of the tape decks, and then on the other deck you had a clean tape, and then you would just pick your shots and insert them into the new tape. I mean, it sounds like a crazy process, but yeah, like nowadays with nonlinear editing, you could be doing Premiere and edit however you want there. And if you mess up, you just do undo on the computer, and that's it. You just start
Yeah.
over. But yeah, over here it was during this time with tape to tape editing, it was just crazy. But it really did make you become a better and more precise editor. So I really like, as with everything in life, something you're gonna be bound to learn something from whatever experience you go through. I'm happy to hear you know how to do the HDMI thing. One of the things that I wanted to do sometime this year was actually do a live streaming, show or vlog like we're doing right now. But I didn't necessarily want it to be with just a regular webcam or with my phone. So I started doing a little bit more research, and then the quarantine happened, and so that sped everything up. Because just like you, I did start having a little bit more time at home to dedicate to certain research. So one of the things I just love is doing research, but about tech. No, so you tell me to do research on some other topic, I have a hard time with it. But like, what are some of your passions besides journalism and spending time with family, of course? Like, what are some of your other traditions and some of your other passions and loves that you're doing now and that you hope to do for the future?
Yeah. So like hobbies pretty much in that aspect, or
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So normally I love nature. So anything that has to do with nature, I'm outdoors, taking a walk. I started doing yoga again. I had did it a few times, so I started doing that again. And I love the diffuser smells. I'm into that type of stuff, reading books. I've actually been reading a book. I have it right here, but I don't want to get up. It has kind of like it's just very motivational, and I think I have it on my YouTube channel too. I did a review on it. It's kind of like I said, I really advocate for mental health. So it's helped me a lot as a person, and just overall, being aware and in control of your mind at all times. So I've always trying to just find passion in how I can improve in myself. That's my hobbies, literally, is how to be well put, fitness wise, mentally wise, and all around me, just bring happiness to my life.
That's awesome. I love that. And Myra, before we wrap this up, is there anything else that you'd like to say or talk about that we didn't already? I just kind of want to give you the last word here.
Yeah, well, I just want to say thank you so much for the opportunity of letting me speak on your platform, and I wish you the best. I can't wait to watch other ones and see what other journalism students or professionals are doing in the field. So thank you.
Of course, anytime. That's gonna wrap it up, I guess, for us. We've been talking for almost 40 minutes, so that's crazy. Just time
Oh,
flies. Um,
it
but why don't you stick around for a little bit, and we'll talk afterwards.
did.
All right, Mara. Well, thanks again for joining me on this vlog, and thank you to everybody out there watching. I really appreciate your support. And again, if you want to learn more about COVID-19 and get the latest information, you can go to these websites: cdc.gov or who.int. You can also follow your local media sources, your local health officials, and there's plenty of updates you can get from all these sources. But definitely like cdc.gov I love because of all the multitude of resources that you have at hand. I mean, there's even a video on how to properly wash your hands. So it's just a ton of great resources there, and it's all free. Also, if you want to follow me on social media, you can do so. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, and of course, if you're watching this live, you know that I'm on my Facebook page. But Instagram, O Flores News, down at the bottom of your screen. Twitter, it's O Flores. I'm actually putting out a lot of stories and updates on my Twitter account as well, especially during work hours. So yeah, you'll never be missing a thing. But Instagram is a little bit more behind the scenes. I have a little bit more fun with that. So yeah, I encourage you to all to follow me there. Again, thanks so much for tuning in. And until next time, take care of each other. Be sure to go get some fresh air. It's a beautiful day. It's still springtime. So take it easy.